Welcome to Wrestling in Mom's Basement for the week of February 12th still. I, of course, am Patrick Young. This guy to my right was born in the last century, Joe Venuto.
Hi, this is the Elimination Chamber 2014 review. Our throwback review. Before we get started on that, we got a few big announcements to make.
Huge announcements.
WrestleMania weekend, we will be live from the basement.
No, we won't be streaming live. We'll be live tape.
From the basement. I was trying to make them think we were in New Orleans.
We'll be live in the basement.
Or in a hotel room that looks like the basement.
Yes.
But you should think it's New Orleans.
Who knows? We could be wearing the same shirts just to throw you guys off, too.
Right?
And maybe we'll be predicting the future.
Yes. That weekend, we will be revealing our top 100 matches of all time, which, for me, there's a match on this card, specifically. That will definitely be on my list. And our top 100 wrestlers of all time. So we'll be working on those lists in the next 7 weeks. If we get them done beforehand, they'll be uploaded before WrestleMania weekend.
Yes.
Done back to Elimination Chamber 2014. This was the final stop on the road to WrestleMania 30. With 6 guys battling in the chamber for the championship. I believe at this point there was actually a wide open field. There was 3 guys who could legit make a claim to will won the chamber. That had a realistic shot at winning it.
Yeah.
But however, there is a more interesting match on the card with the Wyatt Family versus the Shield, which had a very well built story. So let's get to it. Open video told about being willing to fight in order to achieve your dream. Kick things off with the Intercontinental title, Big E versus Jack Swagger. Swagger's challenging, and Colton does his usual stick before the match. Big E shoves in the corner, star and runs him over with a hard shoulder block, sending Swagger to the outside. Back in some overhead, WWE suplexes, put Jack down. But he goes to the forward end to avoid charge the champ. This time, Big E follows the outside, says in his steps, like champion gets into Coulter. The distraction is working as he spears Jack in his steps in a painful looking spot. Back inside, Jack low bridges Big E out to the floor, takes over some run, leaves the corner. After we the people is off to the front face off for a few moments. Big E fights up and a double clothesline, puts both guys down again. Swagger avoids a charge and Big E gets shoulder first in a pose, throwing We the People chant from the crowd. Back going, Big E runs Swagger with the clotheslines and belly-to-belly suplex with the champion charging into a power slam for 2. The run Vader Bomb is pulling the big ending, but Jack makes the apron. Outside Big E spears him for the ropes and big crash. Back in and the Warrior Splash gets 2, so Big E goes up top. Jack catches in with a right hand, runs the ropes for a belly-to-belly superplex and a rotary close 2. Swagger takes out the leg and pulls on the Patriot Lock, but Big E kicks his way out. The gut wrench is countered, but Big E runs him over and takes down the straps. Jack grabs an up Patriot Lock, but Big E fights up and hits an enziguri of all things. Set up the Big E and then retains the title at 11:50.
I thought it was a pretty decent opener. It sort of gets mushed in together with the forgotten reign of Big E to the Intercontinental title. Like, how many people of you actually remembered that Big E was the Intercontinental champion? Minus this computer of knowledge. But yeah, his reign was almost sort of forgettable. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't great. It was sort of in the middle. However, this match, for what it was pretty good.
I like this far better than I was expected to. With Swagger pulling a great fight and making it much closer than I had it right to. At this point, it was nice to see Big E get a win on pay-per-view. And a successful title defense over a former world champion. Never hurt anyone. It was at the time it was interesting to see where the real Americans would go from here because Swagger just lost this match and Cesaro was just coming off a hot victory over Orton and not title match on episode of SmackDown back then.
Give the match a C+.
A B. Bad News Banner pops up and talks about Russia winning more medals at the Olympics for proving European dominance. At this point, I wasn't sure the character was ever going anywhere at that point.
Yeah, I remember thinking that too.
We look back at Daniel Bryan's shoulder.
Although it kind of didn't.
Right. We look back at Daniel Bryan's shoulder injury from Raw to Hands of Kane. Daniel Bryan some questions about the chamber, says his Bulls opponent's got his shoulder, and willing to do this everything he has to become WWE champion. Take a guess what the answer is. Tag titles, New Age Outlaws versus Usos. The Usos are challenging Jimmy shoves Billy around the start and some arm drag sentinels to send Gunn outside. The Usos let up their double dive, but the Outlaws move for a jump. Back in for Dalton versus Jay with the champion's headbutt her him instead of Jay. A hit tosses Jay near the corner. He looks injured near leg. The shaky knee drop is 2, and he's back to Gunn for a 2 count. The CM Punk chain start up as Dalton shows off some of her hands and knees Jay down again. We hit the chill out for a bit until Jay fights up and super kicks Road Dogg back down. Hot tag brings in Jimmy to see things up, leaving Jimmy versus Gunn in the ring. Road Dogg pulls his partner away from the Rhino Maga attack, but Jimmy dives on the Rui. Back in, a super kick gets 2 on Gunn. But
Did you refer to Road Dogg as Brody?
Yeah.
Nice.
But Jimmy has to go to Road Dogg, allowing Billy to grab a roll up for the pin at 8 minutes and 34 seconds.
Again, this match wasn't that bad. I actually expected a lot worse with New Age Outlaws in 2014. Sort of 13 years after their prime, or at the tail end of their prime, as it were. But I thought the Usos made it a very entertaining match, made it a lot more high-energy match than you would have gotten out of the 50-year-old New Age Outlaws at this point. So I'm looking at it as more positive than negative.
I want the opposite. My grade's going to be more about frustrated booking than a bad match. But the rest wasn't nothing great. I'm not sure the Outlaws were holding the belts at this point because they were friends with Triple H, or because the company thinks it's more to nostalgia than anyone else. But I don't get the appeal.
A little bit of both.
But I don't get the appeal the Outlaws getting clean pins on top tag teams.
It wasn't really a clean pin. He won by out of nowhere.
Yeah, clean roll on top tag team.
I give the match a C+.
A D+. The bad news banner pops up again. We got the raise the podium to say Daniel Bryan's shoulder will keep him from winning the title.
And by the way, the podium was literally it not raising was literally a botch.
Yeah.
So much that in later ones he actually calls out the electricians in the local city of Minneapolis.
I got my phone for this show was. Then it was time to hype the network. Apparently there's going to be over 50 editions. Over 50 documentaries on this soon-to-be network. Along with live pay-per-views.
They probably can boast that now.
Yes. Well, I'm letting the people know when this network comes out to let them know.
Yeah. Yeah, this is literally the pay-per-view the day before the network launched.
Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil next. Basic story here of a team losing and split into the heel turn by Titus. Darren gets the Titus face to start. Was knocked down by hard forearm. The fans want Lesnar as Titus works on a headlock. Titus goes to the floor and Darren's right on his heels as the fans chant Free Pebbles. Darren charges into the corner and gets back out on the floor, followed by having his back ram to the post. Titus slaps Darren and Rose for charging to the boot as the announcer told about JBL being cheap. Darren comes out with some basic offense for 2 as the fans boo to kick out. Thankfully, they get the hit, and a quick clash of the Titus ends Darren in 6 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yeah, this is probably... No, I'm not going to say it's my least favorite match of the night. It was my second least favorite match of the night. I just sort of felt like I didn't really care about this feud. I didn't really care about the team to begin with. And I don't think the match really helped their cause either in my eyes. For me, it was kind of slower paced, and it wasn't as exciting or as interesting as other matches on this card.
I want to focus back to my review from last week for Sold Out 1997. This is about what I was expecting, and it showed a problem with Darren Young. He's basically a modern-day Sky Reeves. Meaning a guy who was in a tag team with a much more charismatic guy and had nothing interested once he was on his own. And
Titus O'Neil is Buff Bagwell.
Right.
In that comparison.
Titus looked good here now, one clean in the right ending.
Which I might admit, Titus O'Neil might be better than Marcus Bagwell.
Thankfully, though, they went home quickly, like they did, right?
I give it an F.
More bad news Barrett, who talks about being more talented than Hulk Hogan. We look at the pre-show match and the rest of the show with the expert panel. Recap of the Shield versus the Wyatt family. The family costs the Shield spawned Elimination Chamber, and the feud spawned their Battle Royal, who is the greatest action WWE today. Ambrose and Reigns have been having issues lately as well. Wyatt family versus Shield. The Wyatt family take their sweet time, as is their custom. We get a little stare down as the fans think this is awesome. Before busting out the dueling chance. This is what you get when you actually build up to the point where you can't imagine anything going down clean. Ambrose jumps the family, and the Shield clears out the ring before opening bell. Rowan versus Rollins gets things going with evergreen dropkick into the Shield corner before his ultimate Reigns for a pop. He's out just as quickly as he's back to Rollins, who gets his head taken off of a clothesline. Harper comes in for some hard right hands before his ultimate Bray for some reason in the corner. Rollins is thrown into the corner, tag Reigns and Reigns. You can feel the fans get excited for the showdown between Bray and Roman. They trade right hands with Bray getting the worst of it, so tag Reigns and Harper. Luke hands suplex Reigns, so Roman counts into one zone and brings in Dean. Ambrose counts away in the corner before Zack and Reigns for a 2 off a hard right hand. Dean gets 2 off the dropkick against the ropes as Zack is set for a headbutt to Luke's back. The Shield start their fast tag when Dean come in and rake his forearm over Luke's face. A middle rope elbow to Joel puts Luke down, but Roman offers a distraction, allowing Harper to dropkick all things. Bray gets the tag to pound away Dean as the family takes over again. A Rowan splash in the corner crushes Dean and back to Rowan for the head voice with 2 fists. Rowan gets 2 off a side slam and brings Harper back in. Only to have Dean grab a swinging neck breaker and get a breather. Rollins comes back in with a nice run dropkick when he gets caught on the top rope. Luke loads a reverse superplex and Seth lands on the seat and sends Harper to the floor for a suicide dive. Back inside the top rope knee to the side head puts Harper down again as Seth has a fired up look in his eyes. Harper kicks his head off for a very close to, and he's back to Bray for the best sequence Rollins ever had in WWE apparently. Bray sends Rollins down and hits a Roman backslash on the floor before it's back to Rowan. The dueling chance again before the fans say they want tables. Back to Harper, who handles away in the corner and scores a run clothesline. Wyatt demands to be tagged in, but runs into the boot in the corner. Rollins gets to the middle rope on the dive into the choke slam of all things for 2. Ambrose tries to save, but Harper kicks his head off, sends him to the floor. Rollins gets a shot into Harper's head, and a hot tie brings the Reigns to clean house. A Samoan drop puts Rowan down, but Harper saves his partner. There's a drop kick from the floor for 2 on Eric as everything breaks down. Dean takes Bray down Hammer's leg for dropping out of the floor. Harper dives for the floor to take out Ambrose, but Rollins hits a swanton dive over the top to take Luke out. Reigns rolls up Eric for a very close to, but they close on each other now. Seth loads up the Spanish announce table, but Bray decks him from behind. Ambrose saves Rollins from being sent for the table and takes Bray into the crowd with no shoulders. There was also stuff here. Rowan and Reigns slug out. Roman gets shoulder first and the pole, only to come out with a run close on for 2. Rollins is Harper with a monitor to the Rose up. Bray comes back and loads up the elevator announce table. Rowan takes Reigns down the ring and sends it to the floor with a full-away slam. The family has Rollins surrounded and the monsters don't choke slam him for the announce table. Ambrose is still going, so it's pretty much Reigns versus all 3 family members. They slowly get back in the ring and Roman sees us up and yes, he goes right for Bray, but the numbers are too much for him. Harper kicks Reigns' head off and drops to his knees for a tag to Wyatt. Bray does his upside down thing in the corner, but Reigns powers out to Saturday and Bray's terrified. Reigns goes into beast mode and Simone drops Bray before hitting Rowan and Bray with Superman punches. The spear pulls Harper down, but Wyatt runs Reigns over, sells to Abigail for the pin at 22:45.
Yeah, this match is by far my favorite of the show. It was just an awesome match to see. I remember thinking about it live. That is something something at that point I always wanted to see, and they finally delivered it. At the time they're sort of both heel. I guess Shield was slowly turning face.
Yeah.
Because why not? And I felt that both teams delivered that night. It was an incredible match. Go out of your way to see it. So.
This was the match I was talking about in the beginning of the show. When you second match, you won the best match you've seen in a long time, and then you get blown away, you see something special. This was outstanding stuff, and had me glued to the screen, which doesn't happen every day. Outstanding match word, new to look at all. Find this match if you didn't catch it, if you haven't seen it yet, which I'm not sure why you haven't.
Yeah, go out of your way to see it.
A+. There was a network ad with Hogan and Cena showing his awesomeness, and they were on camera together. Christian said his losses make him dangerous, and they're just underestimate him. Divas title, AJ Lee versus Cameron. This is a bonus match to fill in some time, let the crowd catch their breath. AJ's defending, of course, and says this was supposed to be Naomi's match, but she broke her face. Tamara gets a quick shot in the face and gets taken down by neckbreaker number 2. AJ puts on Mile, finds giant sleeper, but spends too much time skipping around and gets rolled off for 2. Tamara is quickly staying outside, and AJ steals her pom-poms for a little dance. Tamina screws up by kicking AJ in the face and still breaks up the pin time at 2. That's not enough for Tamina. She pulls Cameron outside and takes her head off for the DQ at 4 minutes.
Yeah, if this was an added match, I'm not sure why they added it, to be honest. It was just barely gradable. It was like, what, a minute and a half they were just being not gradable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure why you had this match. Cameron necessarily wasn't a great worker for AJ to go off of. I would have just had like AJ cut a promo or something.
This is a necessary step down for the masterpiece we saw a few minutes before that. Cameron was the logical choice for the replacement.
It's actually more like it tumbled down the steps.
But at the end of the day, no one cares about her. She's a whiny little pest on Total Divas, and there's no reason to care about her.
I gave it an F.
Bader's Barrett says everyone is going to lose their jobs, children will be expelled from schools, brass will move into homes, and the government will condemn them to houses.
I think all because of the WWE Network.
Yes. Santino, Emma, Kali, and Los Matadors play with the new toys.
Apparently there were WWE Legos at one point.
Batista versus Alberto Del Rio. Batista went back to the black trunks here instead of shorts in the Rumble. He gets a decent reaction here, and nowhere near what was the month before. It seems we're like indifferent to anything else. Del Rio comes to the ring in workout clothes, wearing a neck brace and using a crush. Sign in the crowd, have Batista equals ZZZ. Del Rio says he takes a pee, of course, jumps Batista with a crush. Fans CCC. Del Rio, of course, has his trunks on and goes under Batista's knee. He says Green Bell, and Batista comes out with right hands. The fans boo him again. We might as well be in Mexico City right now for this match. Fans Batista. Even lower has a mouse chance. Batista is sent shoulders in the post, and Del Rio puts on the arm breaker and ropes. We hit the hammerlock as the fans chant for Bryan and the Punk. The code breaker to the arm puts Batista down, and it's a Y2J chant. Del Rio misses a charge into the post, and the border chants begin. Del Rio gets another shot to the arm takeover, and according to Gore gets sued. Batista's not to force the chance to go from RVD to Lesnar.
I believe they also added Y2J in there somewhere, too.
Yeah, they did. When Del Rio did the code breaker to the arm.
Yes.
The announcers are acknowledging most of them at this point. Del Rio throws him back inside and gets speared down for 2, a face pump. Power Slam's counter backstabber for 2, but Alberto misses a top rope backsplash. Del Rio escapes the powerbomb and takes out the knee before the low super kick gets 2. The arm breaker is counted. Del Rio is sent into an exposed buckle. I don't know when that happened, by the way, the exposed buckle.
Yeah. And
the Batista bomb is good for the pin at 7:13.
Yeah, I thought I missed something when I looked away. And I didn't catch the exposed buckle, but whatever. Again, I think it was a little slightly better than the Titus and Neil match, but you can sort of see the same comparison. It was a much more slower pace, and the action the guys did wasn't all that interesting. However, other than that match, I thought it was at least well wrestled. I was just expecting a bit more from Batista at this time, just getting back. And we would get more out of Batista in the next 2 or 3 pay-per-views after this. But still, it wasn't necessarily the good start to his singles return, I guess.
I was at a loss for words here because the fans were cleared on a set to Batista. But it's not just because he was a face. He literally had less than 10 offensive moves here.
Yeah. And
was getting squashed into the very end. And then at this point, they expected him to be able to work a 20-plus minute match in just 6 weeks after this.
That and the crowd wanted Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, so I can't imagine that at all.
A lot of it stemmed from the Royal Rumble match that happened a month before.
Expert panel predictions. Miz can't make up his mind for Chamber.
I don't think we said the grades for the last match.
Oh, my fault.
I gave it a D.
Miz came in, it was mine who's going to win the Chamber. Henry picked Sheamus, and Mysterio picked Cesaro. The Chamber's lower, video in the Chamber. WWE title, John Cena versus Randy Orton versus Christian versus Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. Orton's defending, of course, is 2 people for 5 minutes start, and the one's added out of the pod every 5 minutes. Last man survivor wins. Sheamus and Cesaro, we started, which quite a way to get things going. Cesaro quickly dropkicks Sheamus out on the steel, but can't ram into the wall. Back inside, but it's a quick backdrop to send Sheamus into the steel again. Cesaro lives up a charge, and Sheamus slingshots over his shoulder for 2. Now Cesaro being sent to the steel, and they fight over suplex, so Sheamus lands on his feet. Cesaro quickly puts him down, and middle rope double stomp crushes Sheamus' ribs as Orton casually watches from the pod. They brawl into the corner, Sheamus tells them to bring him on. That time Cesaro, as he uppercuts Sheamus down, but Sheamus pulls himself to the top rope. Another uppercut staggers Irishman, but it comes back with the flying shoulder. Daniel Bryan's in third, and the fans are fired up. Bryan has a base shoulder coming in, but starts facing the usual stuff, including the run clothesline and gets kicked to Sheamus. Cesaro gets some kicks as well, and the roundhouse kicks him into the steel. Daniel pushes Sheamus and Indian Deathlock and manages to suplex Cesaro for 2 without breaking the hold. Cesaro catching a diving Bryan and tilt the roll backward for 2 and Finn slow down a bit. Sheamus centered the ropes against Cesaro, just raised Sheamus' head against his steel with a knee. Bryan is sent shoulder first through the pod and looks to be more shocked than pain. Cesaro and Sheamus look it out until Sheamus hits the rolling fireman's carried on the steel. Bryan is back in the ring as the dueling Cena chants begin. The clock speeds up a bit so Christian can come in fourth. Christian goes right into Bryan's shoulder by sending him to the cage wall over and over. He rips the table and slams the pod door on the shoulder for 2. Sheamus is back up now, slams Christian is back into the post a few times. On the counter to the reverse DT on steel, Cesaro loads up Swiss Death on the outside, but Christian grabs the cage to avoid massive amounts of pain. Instead, Cesaro pulls him down, powerbombs him against the pod glass for 2. Cesaro sends Sheamus in the broken pod and is Cena in 5th. He immediately cleans house and gets taken down by a top rope Hurricane from Bryan. There are the yes kicks, but Christian breaks up the big one with the kill switch from very close to. Cesaro loads up the swing on Christian with Cena breaks up with the crossbody, sending Christian to the buckle for a slingshot. White noise gets to him, John is back to Cesaro and Sheamus. Cesaro catches Sheamus with a kick to the face as Sheamus back drops out of neutralizer. A tornado DDT gets to Cesaro with Cena sends Christian to the steel. Cena goes into Cesaro but gets caught in a Swiss Death for 2. Bryan, Cena, and Cesaro have a 3-way fight until Cena loses Cesaro up in the AA. Daniel kicks John down before kicking Cesaro in the corner, which the announcers call a mistake. Sheamus sent Bryan to the cage wall, but Cesaro does his awesome superplex from the cage floor. Orton comes in again with all 6 of 1, which might have been a first, I think, at this point.
What?
All 6 in the ring at the same time?
I do think so, but I can't say for sure, to be honest.
The fans chant boring, so Orton stops the pose and point aside like a good heel should. Bryan avoids the pot, and Orton is suddenly cornered by all 5 guys. Orton wisely hides in his pod, drawing moves from the crowd. Sheamus yells through the glass before bro kicking for the pod and sending Orton to the cage wall over and over. Cesaro says Sheamus in the wall, and Cena initiates his finish sequence on the champion. Cesaro breaks up and swings Orton 30 times. Bryan grabs the rolling chaos there, suplex on Cesaro, but there's no cover. Sheamus power slams Cesaro down, loads up the bro kick on the Christian, but has Cena square in the jaw. Christian rolls up both guys for 2, and Sheamus is ticked. He loads up the high cross, run Razor's Edge into the pod, while Christian escapes to the top of the pod. Orton catches Sheamus in a suplex, and Christian adds a top rope splash to eliminate the Irishman. Orton tries to elevate DT on Christian, but the Canadian escapes, only to get caught by the run knee for the pin and the elimination. We get a 4-way standoff until Orton and Cesaro are knocked down. Cena and Bryan have their long-way rematch, with Bryan trying a quick yes line, but Cena easily powering out. The AA's lit up with Cesaro German Cena as he's still holding Bryan, but can get to. Cena can't get the STF on Cesaro, but he counts a gut rush into what was supposed to be a Hurricane. And AA onto the steel steps, that STF, and Cesaro taps in an awkward-looking moment. I thought there might have been an injury here with the way he tapped. Cena catches Orton in STF, and we got Wyatt. The lights go out, and Orton's out of the hole somehow, so Wyatt's on the chamber. Harper kicks Bryan in the face, all 3 over Cena. John's laid out. Fans chant, thank you, Wyatt. And the Wyatts leave, giving Orton an easy pin. We're down to Orton versus Bryan, and Randy Wyatt closes out the ring. Kane comes out to eject the Wyatt, but the chamber door is still open. He comes in to check on Cena. Bryan comes up the top with a knee to Kane's head. Orton sends Bryan to a broken pile, but Daniel escapes the suplex and ties Orton in a tree of woe for some kicks to the chest. A baseball slide to the face has Orton in trouble. A belly to back superplex gets him. Brandi grabs him by the beard. Why has that not been done more often? I don't know. And his LVDT out of the corner. The RKO is counter and dares to run knee, but Kane grabs the referee. Kane gets kicked in the head, but RKO is enough for 2 on Bryan. I actually did buy that as the finish.
Yeah, I did too.
Bryan does another close to a small package and big kick to the head, puts Orton down. Kane gets in another shot from behind though, and the RKO retains the title at 36-50.
This is actually better than I remember it originally. I remember this was actually a lot better than how I thought the match was. I just thought that this was a quintessential chamber match where it was just chaotic and more filled and just high spots galore and just everything setting up to WrestleMania, especially 2007 one. I think that's a great formula for Elimination Chamber match, to be honest. And I thought that this match should probably rank near one of the best. It definitely was one of the more surprisingly good ones for me.
What do you mean surprisingly good? You were expecting a bad one with those 6?
No, not that I expected a bad one. More or less surprising that I don't remember it being as good as I think it is now.
It was an all-awesome match to wrap up the show here with all 6 guys looking good. Orton win was kind of expected after he lost almost every match in the last few weeks. I believe the only person he beat was Christian in the build-up to it. And in the last few weeks, because I said they booking worse, at this point, I was really hoping we don't get Kane versus Bryan WrestleMania and we'll come off with a huge letdown.
Yeah, I thought they set up Bryan nicely for WrestleMania against Orton.
Evolution.
Yeah.
But it will work as a big role match in the build-up Bryan vs. Kane. Cole goes on Rainbow Hall versus Bryan. This is the focal point of the end of the show.
Alright, my grade for the pay-per-view was a B-.
A-. This is a 2-match show, and both matches hit out of the park. What did you give the pay-per-view match? The champion.
I gave it an A.
WWE was on a roll at this point with Chamber and WrestleMania. But none of them matter. All matches really matter anyway in the build-up. The ending wasn't a huge surprise. There's still a lot of shows to go before we got to the big one. And I remember thinking WrestleMania was going to be this good, it was going to be a success, and WrestleMania 30. Hi!
Hello!
And WrestleMania 30 was a success.
Yeah. For me, it was just, this was more of an average on how I had the show grades going. Shield, the Wyatts, and the Elimination Chamber were very high. Cameron, AJ, Tyson down were really low, and everything was just spread apart, and I just worked that average up that way. It's not usually how I do it. Sometimes it's how it's based on the show, but I felt that it was a good grade for the show. Alright, so anyway, I believe it's your pick for the next pay-per-view.
Alright.
Fall Brawl 1996. Hollywood Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash and NWO Sting face it off against Lex Luger, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Sting. And by the initial description, it said Chris Jericho and more.
Yes.
I accidentally chose a second pay-per-view.
A pay-per-view I never heard of, by the way.
Yeah.
Little trip to hell. I don't know what that is.
So I'll actually pull up the Wikipedia just to give you a match order.
Good news is we hit NWO territory, so it may not be as based on the 90s.
Apparently the tagline is, "We're the want to play with the big boys in the cage."
Kinky.
The card is as follows: Chavo Guerrero versus Diamond Dallas Page, Ice Train versus Scott Norton.
Yeah, it's a submission match.
Yeah. Juventud Guerrero versus Conan.
For the AAA Heavyweight Championship.
Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit. That should be really good. Super Callow versus Rey Mysterio.
For the Heavyweight Championship.
Arnold He versus the Nasty Boys.
They always fought each other for tag team championships.
Randy Savage versus the Giant. In the main event, a War Games match, NWO, Hollywood Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and NWO Sting with Ted DiBiase versus Team WCW, Lex Luger, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, and Sting.
Overall, I do gotta admit, that's not a bad sounding WCW show.
That actually sounds pretty good. I believe it's right after the NWO came together.
Right. So,
it's the first big match for the NWO as a unit.
Yeah. So that'll do it for this week's edition. I'll be back Friday with the show reviews, Full Brawl 1996
Yep.
reviews, and our Elimination Chamber predictions. See you then.